Thanks for clicking on Losing Lives podcast. This is one of our first episodes. If you haven't heard yet, go check out our Who's Next podcast. We just released our first episode on that. We'll be covering Super Mario Bros.
Where are we? I got a feeling we're not in Brooklyn no more.
They're brothers. They're plumbers.
Oh no. Mario! Luigi!
They're on the trail of a kidnapped princess and a mystical meteorite.
It's incredible!
That gives anyone who possesses it
It's fucking
the
bonkers.
power to rule the universe.
Get me the rock! Don't get it, lizard breath!
Now, they must rescue the princess.
You know, I find it funny that they're not saying it's Princess Peach.
The princess.
Because it's not Peach.
It's not. It's Daisy.
It's like Princess Daisy.
Yeah, I mean, and she's a canonological character.
I think later on.
Maybe.
Yeah, later on.
No, she's canon because she came out in Super Mario Land, which is Rosal Land, for the Game Boy.
For Game Boy, yeah.
So, well, we're covering Super Mario Bros, but we're going to do it a little different. This is a podcast that deals with movies based off of video games primarily. Down the road, we may start dipping into some questionable territory to that standard, but we're sticking to this. So what we're going to do first is we're going to talk a little bit about the game. So, Ryan, why don't you run down a little bit of the history you know of Mario as the game? I believe it started, which Kevin, you can look up a little info. And you might know.
1984.
It started with Donkey Kong, right? And he was just called
Jumper.
the Jumping Man or Jumper.
Something like that.
Jumpman. Yeah, it's just Jumpman.
Yeah. Now I know I read somewhere that he was Jumping Man. Then they went to go do the Mario game, and apparently they got the name Mario from a landlord that they had. I think it was for the studio that they were producing the games at. They would come by and whatever, and they was just like, he was Mario, so Mario come collect the money from him. So they were just like, hey.
So
my
was
name
he
is Mario.
short, had a big mustache, and was a plumber?
I hope so, but I don't know.
Me too.
It's just like a rumor. It's a weird story. I thought it was interesting. But it started as from Donkey Kong, and then it developed into what it's known today. One of the biggest accomplishments that it had was it really helped the NES, and it did something computers couldn't do at the time until John Carmack kind of, well, I don't know if he was necessarily the first one, but he did that with one of his games. But it was side-scrolling, where the character would move and the screen would move with the character and show different things in the screen. Typically, most computer games, you would like go into a room and you'd like, poof, and then you'd have stuff to do in that room.
Kind
And
of paved the way for platformers.
Yeah. So Mario is actually kind of responsible for your first-person shooters, because the very first-person shooter was Wolfenstein, and that was made by John Carmack and John Romero. And what got them working together is when, well, it didn't really get them, but what kind of pushed them, one of their first big projects they worked on was Commander Keen. Commander Keen was based off of John Carmack taking the technology from Mario, the side-scrolling, and finding out a way to replicate that on a computer. And once they did that, John Carmack was just kind of on a warpath, just developing new technology and new ways to game on PCs, and it eventually ended up with us getting first-person shooters.
So, if, listeners if you're out there. If you're wondering why we're talking about this completely unrelated topic to the movie of Super Mario Bros., it's probably because the movie Super Mario Bros. Has nothing to do with the game Super Mario Bros.
Well,
Spoiler, people.
yeah. Spoiler alert.
I figured
I'll tell you
we
this.
would just share themes here.
It
Yeah.
doesn't go well. First of all, Mario in the game has never once that I've saw picked up a wrench and fixed the toilet.
Nope.
So never been a plumber. Just called the plumber because he has
kind of
overalls.
sort of looks like one.
Right.
Maybe.
Which is maybe a little racist. Maybe we need to get a little
That's
PC.
not racist.
Well, it's something. It's something in that vein of political correctness because it's definitely maybe racist to Italian people in overalls. Because now we're big mustaches. Because now
Right.
we're plumbers. But anyways, it does pull a lot of stuff from the game though. Like you definitely have the bullet they brought in the movie. They definitely had the little bomb that was in the movie.
The uniforms.
They actually had them. I don't know why. My 6-year-old, or Eva, I'm sorry, my 8-year-old watched it, and she was like, the whole probably first hour of the movie, she was just like,
Who are these?
why
people?
doesn't Luigi have green on? He had red like the whole movie.
Why
No,
is
my-
he shirtless in the desert?
No, my biggest thing when they finally put on the traditional uniform was they're already being looked for by Koopa as plumbers.
Yeah.
So-
When they don't even really look like plumbers.
They don't.
You know?
So
They just
do you,
like
do you know
typical
how they
dudes.
hide in the crowd? Let's disguise ourselves as plumbers,
Yep. Yep.
and they go unnoticed. What the fuck?
But then that's actually what gets them arrested is because he gets in an argument with the cop and the cop like pulls his tool belt was like, hey, plumbers, you're going to jail.
Yeah.
It's like,
Because-
oh, I got a tool belt, so
Because
I'm
he
a
has-
fucking plumber.
Yeah. He has a wrench, and that's it.
Plumber.
You're a plumber.
No, I'll tell you what spoke to me. Like it said it so clearly that they were plumbers. Because the very, not the first scene of the movie, but the very first scene you see inside Mario's house, there's a plaque on the wall with 3 plungers on
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Why?
Plumbers do that.
Right.
Plumbers.
I hope so. I hope a plumber will just be like, hey Seth, why don't you come over to my house, hang out? Be sure. And I'm looking to see if they have plungers on the wall.
Mounted.
Mounted.
Yes.
It was mounted.
They were
So-
like
Right.
trophies.
And I don't know about most people. I probably have poor hygiene because I'm disgusting. But I've noticed that with a lot of plungers, not many people seem to go wash those very often.
Right. You know, like, so I hope
No.
it has the remains of, like, the great beast that it
It's-
fell.
It's
you know?
Mario Dookie. It has Luigi Dookie. And
No. It has shit from other people
It
around
does.
town.
It-
It's the jobs he
But
went out to.
you know what
and
I
he was
think-
like, this was a memorable battle. I'm going to put this plunger in my hallway.
You know what?
I think this movie. I think what happened. I think the Nintendo execs rewatched this movie and was like, you know what? Super Mario Odyssey. Boom. We're getting the real thing. Mario running around New York City, and he's gonna.
I just caught what you were trying to say. I was like, what the fuck are you
It's
talking
like
about?
why fight the
He-
Goombas
You can fight
when
people's
there-
toilets.
when there's something worse? The Scarpelli brothers.
All
plumbers are
Scarpellis.
Yeah, it's
Was
It's
it
like you
was
get
it
a-
Scarpelli?
I think it's the
Scapelli. I think it was
Scapelli.
Scapelli.
Scapelli brothers.
I mean,
Well,
if
look,
you really stretch
this
it
is
out.
important to me, Rob.
Is it really? I
Let's-
can see the look on your face.
Well,
It's
I
really
think-
important.
First, we need to walk this movie through from the beginning. And I want to say one of the most amazing scenes is the New York accent on the guy who's explaining the beginning
Jesus
of
Christ.
the universe. That is, and what's really great is the way he sets it up with his what if scenario.
What if the dinosaurs weren't all destroyed? What if the impact of that meteorite created a parallel dimension where the dinosaurs continue to thrive and evolve into intelligent, vicious, aggressive beings? Just like us. And hey, what if they found a way back?
So 3 what ifs to set the stage.
My thing is, what if the dinosaurs was like The Sopranos? Because it was so stereotypical. You got your T-Rex, you got your Stegosaurus.
They actually
and you got
have 2
your Tony
dinosaurs
Soprano.
talking in like New York accents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
and then
like
that
crappy
little opening
animated
scene.
like beginning part.
Where's the gabagool?
So
Hey, I'm walking here.
I watched this just a couple days ago for the first time since it
you.
like first released. You know, so I really didn't remember much. All I remembered was the black chick with the enormous boobies and
Big
the
Bertha.
one, Big Bertha,
You
who like gave them the super boots.
The Stompers.
Yeah.
I even hate to say it. When I first saw her, I nicknamed her in my notes, Big Bertha. In my notes.
Before you found out.
Before I found out. And then later in the movie, it's like, we gotta get the Bertha.
Yeah, they're describing her, and the 2 guys who got accelerated evolution, they were like,
And I'm
you must
sitting
be
there
talking
just
about
like,
Big
Jesus,
Bertha.
her name is Big Bertha.
It's actually Big Bertha.
Big Bertha.
I love boobies!
There you go. So
I feel what he's saying.
so that was like all I remembered. So
Yeah.
I turned it on, and it's playing in my living room, and my wife is getting ready to leave. And she walks out, and the guy's like, what if a meteorite hit the Earth and it created parallel dimensions? And my wife was like, what the hell are you watching? And I had to look at her and say, Super Mario Brothers. And she just kind of like looked at me, and she's, I'm
You're
going
watching-
to the gym.
You're
And she
watching
rolled out.
porn and I'm leaving.
Yeah, she was like,
It's
I'm
a new form
this
of porn.
this isn't Mario.
Lady,
I'm-
you better get out now, because things are about to get hot.
I had the same reaction. Like, I was fixing something in my kitchen, and I was like, meteorites opening parallel universe. What the shit is this? I thought I clicked on the wrong video.
What got me was, instead of just saying 65 million years ago, they're just like 65 million years in Brooklyn. I was like, there's a Brooklyn there?
Yeah,
Yep.
they're like,
Was
it starts off with the words like Brooklyn 65 million years
Yeah.
ago, like right here.
And it's
just
like,
a
you know,
bunch of
jungle.
trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
jungle.
Who knew that Brooklyn was there 65 million years ago?
Yeah.
Who knew?
So then after that, you get to see. Who was that lady that was? Because it looked just like the princess that was like leaving a baby in the form.
Her
like an
mother.
egg.
That was her mom. That
Was
was
it?
Princess Daisy's mom.
But was it the same actress?
Oh, I don't know. You just see like a shadowy
Well,
thing.
Kinda
They
looked
did
like
have a
this.
$48 million budget, so
They may have
Probably.
recycled.
probably.
Well, I don't know.
actors-
48
actresses.
million actually is kind of strong for 93. That movie came out in 93, huh?
They spent a lot of it on the uniforms and Bob Hoskins drinking.
Yeah, well, I heard the set, and like, apparently Mario was supposed to be adult stuff, so there's supposed to be like strippers and drugs and stuff like that, and it was going to be like this whole.
Which is
almost-
more like the video game.
like,
Alright.
yeah, exactly like the video
That
game.
would have made
Yeah,
more
yeah,
sense.
That's the way I remember it.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's
Remember
why.
at the end of the stage, you have to jump across the pole. You don't
That's
remember
actually
the
Princess
naked
Peach.
chick?
She's sliding
Oh.
down in a strip
Yeah.
outfit. And
So it's pretty
that's
much-
why Bowser is.
So pretty
trying
much
so
porn
hard
star
to get it.
dancing.
Yeah.
There you
so,
go.
You know,
Yeah.
when you're
Yep.
entering the castle, that's just a metaphor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for entering Princess Peach's.
The castle. We get it.
It's big.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anyway, so drop her off, and then everybody's orphans because the princess is apparently orphaned.
Hang on,
And then,
we skipped a step. dropped off an egg
Yeah, and then it hatches into
that
a human
hatches
being,
into Princess Peach.
and everybody's.
I mean
just-
Daisy, Princess
Yeah,
Daisy.
Did
And
you
then
notice
just cool
King
with that.
Koopa when he snuck up on the princess's mom?
Yeah,
He's wearing a decorated military uniform.
he is wearing a decorated military.
Like, did he just get discharged from the army?
He's
He's like, I just got back home, and is like, what are you doing? What's going on here?
I don't remember that. I don't.
He's in the shadows. Like he's standing in the shadows, and he steps out, and he like, and he grabs her, and then you never see the mom again.
Yeah,
you
she
just
dead.
hear about the dad,
Yeah.
who has a 2-second cameo at the end of the movie.
Which is played by a well-known actor at the time.
Now, who were you saying? To backtrack up a little bit,
Okay.
the voice of the guy who's telling the beginning of the universe, as should be told by someone with a great New York accent.
Okay, for everybody that's listening out there, we thank you for tuning in because your life's about to get better. Just know that the guy who did the voice of that is none other than Dan Castellana. He's mostly known for playing the voice of Homer Simpson in The Simpsons.
Really?
Also,
He also played Earthworm Jim. Wait, no.
Yes.
A woman
No,
voiced
yes.
Homer Simpson.
no, Bart Simpson. Was
Bart
a woman.
Simpson.
Oh, it was Bart.
A woman voices Bart Simpson.
He did
Oh, okay. I had that
Earthworm
mixed
Jim. He also had a hand in Darkwing Duck, and he was also known for playing the voice of Dr. Emmett Brown in the Back to the Future animated series,
Huh.
which was weird because they actually brought in Christopher Lloyd to be that character in the beginning to give you some kind of science project in the beginning. But then later, as in the cartoon, Dan Castellano played his voice. I was like, could they just not afford Christopher Lloyd throughout the whole
I
episode?
don't know. I mean, didn't he just come off of Back to the Future before '93? Because that happened all through the '80s, and wasn't it Back to the Future.
Back to the Future 1 was like September 1985, and then Back to the Future 2 and 3 was 1989, which was back to back.
Yeah, well.
But they were just released a year after.
So Homer Simpson tells us how the universe is created in Mario.
That's what he
That's-
needs to do.
that's
That's what I
basi-
want to hear.
That's exactly
That's what
right.
it is.
So what I find interesting next is
It's
we have a
65
human-
million years ago in Brooklyn. Dow. Dow. Dow.
Parallel universe.
Versus in Donut.
So we get past that. We get to see Mario. So this is kind of some of our first Mario.
The name's Mario. I'm your
That's
main
not
man.
it. Wrong
Friend
foot.
with Dane, you can't explain.
Still the best pickup line I've ever heard.
Yeah.
In the club.
Name's
It's-
Mario.
The name's Mario. I'm your main man. And a can of Spam. And
Yeah.
some other rhyming.
Mario
bullshit.
Brothers Plumbing. No leak too small.
So Mario definitely doesn't have the Italian accent, just a New York.
Just a
accent.
Brooklyn.
So it's not like
accent.
hey, what you doing?
It's a me, a Mario.
No,
Hey,
it's-
Mario Brothers
Mario
Plumbing.
No leak too small.
That's what it is. And of course,
Hey, we'll
their-
come fix your plumbing.
yeah, their first plumbing job is let me see if I got this one right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Luigi, we got a broken dishwasher at the Riverfront Cafe.
See how excited he is?
Yeah, broken dishwasher.
Yep.
So great. So
Falling on hard times.
Yeah.
yeah, and then those damn Scapelli brothers.
Those
They
Scapellis.
take his coveted dishwashing fix job.
Was it me or the Scapelli brothers was mafia related?
I don't know what they were. They
They
were
looked
just
like
like
it was
holy
like they
shit.
wanted the image of
yeah.
mafia.
they were just like, oh, these are bad guys who do bad stuff.
That must be the mafia. They
who
must be.
are racing the Mario Brothers to fix a dishwasher.
And also worrying about a the paleontologist dig site.
See, mafia.
But, so they can.
No,
but,
they had some pipe work to do down there.
Well, yeah,
and she
so
was in
they're-
the way.
So I guess it's popular to be a criminal and also to be a plumber,
It's New York.
as well as it's okay to be a plumber and do what we'll skip ahead to and run into a sewer and jump into an alternate universe without asking any questions for a girl you met for 2 seconds at a payphone, which was great to see payphones again because you kind of forget that those things
Those
existed.
things happen.
That happened.
I'm pretty sure these days, if you apply for a plumber, that's on there as a job description.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. So
You have 10 years plus experience, like jumping into parallel universes.
Are you
This job's for
comfortable?
you.
yeah.
This job's for you.
So anyway, so we have them jump into an alternate universe after, of course. Oh wait, let me back up. Who was the two guys that were trying to get her? It was Iggy. They were like dumb, and then they got smart.
Yeah.
It was.
They
it
were
was-
like Koopa's cousins.
but they're
Yeah.
they're in the games. They're in the games. They're Iggy.
Who are they?
Koopalings.
Yeah, yeah,
Koopalings. They're supposed to be Bowser's kids.
yeah. And it's. I think one of them's name is Iggy, right?
Yeah. I don't remember the other ones.
The other one, I'm trying to. Do you remember? Do you remember?
Are we talking about the one with the Jerry curl?
Yeah.
I don't know.
With like a Jerry
They,
curl
they don't
mullet?
really say their names in the movie a whole lot, at least.
Except for that one time when they're making us smart. He's like, goodbye, Iggy.
Look up the names.
Yeah, when they think they're being de-evolutionized.
But they're actually being smarter.
Yeah.
But I like his description, and they're like
Spike. That's the other one. Iggy and Spike.
Iggy and Spike. Yeah, Spike. I know Spike. I remember that name. I kind of remember Iggy too. They're characters in the actual Mario game, so they're actual characters from the game, but they're like turtle creatures.
And not to mention, they're the only ones in the present day 90s wearing futuristic
I think that-
clothes.
Yeah, but also I like how they look at Daisy and they're like, "Is that the girl?" You're like, 2 arms, 2 legs, a head. Yeah.
That
Like,
must be.
I remember that.
That was their description. Like that's enough. That's
And then they got the wrong girl.
yeah. On top of that,
They got
did-
four wrong girls.
Yeah.
The fifth one.
All
was
dressed
Daisy.
as hookers. All dressed
That's what I want to talk about.
because they were
Mario's
original.
girlfriend.
But
as, yeah.
What the hell?
that's
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I think they were all supposed to be like strippers and stuff. Because apparently that was the direction. Like one of the stories I read in it is that basically they were doing the movie like all dark and stuff and whatever, and then some studio execs came in and were like, "Wait a second, this is a kids movie. You've got to change everything." And they're like, "Well," so they kept the sets. They just changed what
They threw some fungus on it.
Yeah,
And they put some
It might-
clothes on the
that might have
girls.
already been part of it. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
It was already there. It's like, let's just work with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
it's fine.
Well, I mean, the fungus makes sense. That's one of the only things that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you're in Mushroom Kingdom, is supposed to be where they're going, there's some fungus around. Like,
How much
what
money
else
we
you
have
gonna
left? Yeah, let's just work with it. We got it. We got it.
do? Put some
Yeah.
slime out there.
Yeah.
So they jump through the portal. They go into this new universe.
Damn
where-
Scarpelli brothers.
Yeah. So
Scarpelli.
So
Isn't that what I said?
No!
I'm sure it is.
You keep saying Scarpelli.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Shut up.
Thank you.
eat some more soup, Ryan.
Yeah. It's like, it's becoming like a solid now.
It's really cold. I don't want to eat it.
So they jump through, and they're in this new world that's like, what's the best way to describe this world?
Dystopian, futuristic 90s with dinosaurs and people? Question mark?
It's,
And they-
it's like Blade Runner with dinosaurs.
Yeah, and they all look like they're dressed for a Mad
Or
Max
Demolition
movie.
Man.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's another.
something like that.
Yeah.
So that's when we get to meet the old lady gets thrown off.
Oh, the lady who tries to turn them in?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
with the stun gun,
Yeah.
or like whatever that is, you know. And she like
Yeah.
plays like the innocent old lady, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Do you guys have any weapons?" And they're like, "What are you talking about?" Ha ha! And she starts stunning them and like trying to turn them in.
Yeah,
You see, you
That
don't,
was
you don't trust
bizarre.
that. You don't trust that shit.
You don't trust
No,
old
you-
lady.
you don't.
As soon as there's an old woman asking if you are armed, you should be questioning the situation that you're in.
I question a lot of things about that. I just question a lot of things about that movie. But so then after that, to fast forward some more through it, they basically get to this point where they get arrested by a cop who looks at their tool belt and is just like, "Oh, you're plumbers. Let's go to jail." Because, you know,
Oh, yeah,
Koopa
wait,
just
why-
made the announcement.
Why did Koopa make the announcement?
Because
I can't remember.
Because
the
I
exact-
think Iggy and Spike went
Oh,
through and they were like, "Oh, these plumbers are chasing us." Blah.
No,
They could have been plumbers to repair some shit. You don't
no,
know
Iggy and Spike brought Daisy up
Yeah.
to Koopa, and Koopa said, "Where's the rock?" Remember that?
Oh, and then they
Yeah.
said the plumbers.
And then they
got
said,
it.
"Oh, the plumbers were chasing us. They took the rock. We thought you wanted Daisy."
That's right.
And he put out the call to get the plumbers. That's what it was.
That's right.
Because Super Mario Brothers is all about the meteorite shards that you need to collect to complete the meteorite to
that.
unite
To
the
merge
parallel
both
dimensions.
worlds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the
So he
basic.
needs the rock.
Yeah.
So that's the basic plot. He wants to bring his world to our world,
Which
to
is,
take
so
over.
so he can take over.
Which
Because
is Biff
he's-
Town.
Yeah, because it.
Back
What?
to the Future 2.
Oh.
It's Biff Town. There's
Oh.
gambling everywhere. There's hookers everywhere. And dinosaurs. It's Biff Town.
Yeah, basically, that's true. I like that. Also, there's just this stigma like monkeys, apes, gross, but they look exactly like
the
humans.
same.
There's not even really anything much different from them.
They have
and
like
humans.
scales on like their face.
Okay, so they might.
There's some resemblance,
Some.
and they
What-
have like the forked tongue.
What
Some
I
of
think
them
we're
do.
really missing here, gentlemen, is the beautiful corn rolls that Dennis Hopper had.
Oh yeah, that.
And
was,
I'm just like, I like to think he invented that trend. I'm just like, that's how you know that guy came from a reptile.
I mean, was
the corn
that
rolls.
the effort of making it look like he had spikes? I feel like that
I think
was
that's
like,
what Dennis Hopper wanted.
that's what I'm saying. I think that was the goal.
He's
They're
like, I don't
these-
know about
these
you,
are my
but I
spikes."
think cornholes would be good for this character. They're like, whatever you want,
Whatever,
it's fine,
man.
whatever. Here's money.
Yeah.
But was he even supposed to be like? I always took it like he's supposed to be Bowser, but he's not.
I think.
he's not called Bowser though. He's always
called
called King Koopa.
King Koopa. In the games, his name was King Koopa as like a title.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
so
Bowser.
That's what I thought. Bowser is like
His
the
name.
of
King Koopa,
King Koopa.
is what his title
Yeah,
was.
they're one and the same, and that's why like at the end when he gets hit with the de-evolutionizer, he turns into like this huge
Huge fucking-
dinosaur, and he's in that like cauldron that kind of looks like that thing that
Yeah, it does. It looks like the cloud thing that they
yes,
fly around.
it looked
in.
that
I
with
thought
like that
caught that-
clown smiley
But see-
face that he floats around.
Yeah.
See, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I know you made the comment like it has nothing to do with the games, and it kind of doesn't, but at the same time, it almost does because the games itself. First of all, they don't really
There's not
have
much of a plot.
There's not a plot. There's not really a
It's
storyline.
just
So
get the
if you're
princess.
given this, it's just like okay, fat Italian guy supposed to be a plumber saves a princess from dinosaur turtle creature things.
with spikes.
And then you have these like bullets that fly around, bombs. You have mushrooms where they get bigger, and so you have all these different things. And it felt like this movie actually tried, like the movie did some mushroom stuff.
So
Trust the fungus.
what you're trying to say is that for this movie to be more accurate with the video game, everybody's got to be tripping on mushrooms. everybody.
Maybe because the worlds look like that. Like if you look at Mario's worlds, they're like kind of trippy and stuff.
I mean, I'd be tripping out with giant ass bullets flying in my direction.
Yeah.
Just jeez.
I don't think that, like it sounded like you were saying that this movie, actually did a decent job of like sticking to Mario because
The source
the
material.
Mario
Well, I don't wanna
games
say
don't
it
really
did it.
have a
I don't
plot.
want to say it did a decent job, but I'm just saying there. All right, the best way to put it is they had a lot of fan service. I think there was a lot of fan like, hey, this is Mario in his outfit. Hey, this is Babam.
No.
Hey, this is
Yeah,
the
but
cloud
that's-
thing.
that's-
Not
such a
so
weak
much
effort.
of Gotham.
Oh, it definitely is a weak effort.
Oh, okay,
I'm not saying like it should be applauded.
That's
in
like
any way.
that's like the most gimmicky approach
It is.
you can have.
Well, I think it's probably because the movie was going to be like, hey, Mario's just like 10 girls deep in puss in this stripper club. And it's like, oh, wait, it's got to be for kids now. Here's Big Bertha, and
Yeah.
she's just going to like smack him around and
Jump
give him a
around.
So
kiss.
he's only gonna be balls deep in some puss. So we gotta make it kid friendly.
His girlfriend still looks like a hooker, but they won't have any sex. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And later on, you realize what they were planning to do. You take her to WrestleMania.
Yeah, the WrestleMania. That's where they were going. Because that's what he says at some point. He's like, "Oh shit, I gotta take her to WrestleMania," or something.
Because
like
all New Yorkers go to WrestleMania.
Yeah,
they
I guess-
love
I guess
wrestling.
so. Yeah, that's definitely true. So, the movie, I don't know what else. Like, the whole plot of it and the whole story of it is just so bizarre. And I guess
what
when
about
you-
Toad? When they threw him in, you realize you didn't even know who he was at first.
he was the musician.
Yeah,
who
it's
was
like
singing
he's just some
his
random
Anarchy
guy, and
songs.
it's like
I just found out that Toad was in this movie. So
Yes,
explain.
he's the musician. It's in my notes.
God
He's in the
damn
musician.
it!
No, so
Toad.
all right, Mario and Luigi are like on the run. I don't think they were on the run yet. They were just kind of walking around trying to figure out what the hell was going on.
Just fought the old lady.
Yeah, and she like fell into somebody else's car and
Yeah.
like cruised off, and they were like, "Woo!" And then this guy jumps in with his guitar,
And
starts singing.
crazy haircut.
Yeah, his little like swirly
Yeah.
shaved into his head.
Dystopian 90s future.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he starts singing like anti-King Koopa songs, and
Yeah.
that's when they get arrested. That's when the
That's-
police they
Yeah,
stop
okay,
him.
I remember him.
And then they see the tool belt, and you find out. I think when they're in jail,
You're
he
coming
says-
with us, Toad.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, oh shit, that's Toad.
That was Toad. That's it
Yeah.
for Toad.
Yeah.
Well, he became a Goomba with the harmonica around.
Right. It's like, you know what? He's a musician. Let's add a harmonica.
Slap him a harmonica.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no one will know which Goomba this is.
Because they all look alike.
They kind of do. Some of them have like long snouts.
But he's the only one
he's
with
the
a swirl in his
yeah,
head.
he still he kept the
Only
swirl.
one. Yeah.
He's the only one that I can recall that actually looked like a Goomba. Like just with like his head looked like a Goomba. Everybody else looked kind of like dinosaurs.
And I think his main purpose after that was just being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, it was to bring Daisy her steamed vegetables.
And then he got set on fire.
All right, so I'm gonna catch a little bit of this. Okay. So they had a $4 million budget, which you said earlier.
Yep.
The project had a torturous pre-production process.
Did I
They
call
said
it?
Director Greg Beeman was initially hired to handle the shoot, but no studio would buy the project, and Joffe decided Beeman didn't have the stretch for it. Meanwhile, there were multiple screenplay drafts by Barry Merrow, co-screenwriter of Rain Man.
Yep.
And Parker Bennett and Terry Root. Beginning with just a concept and a name, it was hard to hammer out a story for video game paper-thin characters. After Beeman's departure, Joffe turned to British directors Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel. They were a husband and wife team and co-creators of the Max Headroom show. It was something in the UK.
That's the only thing they did before they did this movie. Was Max Headroom.
Yeah, and then
Do you remember Max Headroom?
No,
I don't know what that is.
Oh.
I mean, you ever seen the? Okay, because I'm the old one. Got it.
No.
So
I remember.
you remember seeing the TV screen, and then you see this like robotic character with a digital head, and he's always like stuttering and repeating himself.
Nope.
It's in,
Nope. I'm looking at a picture of
Jesus.
some blonde-haired Nazi, I guess.
it looks like something from Lawnmower Man.
it's Max Headroom / Lawnmower Man.
Oh, really?
No.
I don't know.
God damn it. No.
Shut up.
Really?
So they say both directors knew Super Mario Bros. As everyone did in '92. Neither were particularly immersed in video game culture.
Not at all.
They say we weren't widely enthusiastic gamers. I don't think either of us had ever fully involved ourselves in the game at all, which might have something to do with the end result. We played it for research. It's a bit like if you're doing an adaptation of something, you do your due diligence, but it's not like we were up all through the night playing it. And so they had a vision.
So they didn't like the game.
I guess. They said,
this shit's so hard.
Yeah.
they were,
Fuck it.
Kept falling.
Yeah. They
Let's
were
do this movie on the
determined-
first 2 levels. Fuck it. It's hard.
They were determined to not make a kids movie. Jaffe, he thought Super Mario Bros. Should be dark and edgy. So that's where the conflict happened.
Just like in my mind.
They said that they knew that Mario Bros. Looked visually like a kid's video game, but also knew it was played by people of all ages, including adults. So they
Who
said
were seeking that
yeah,
dark.
So they were like,
edgy
well,
experience
because
in the
adults
Mushroom
played
Kingdom.
this, I guess let's make it adult.
Well, let me ask. Did
Which
you guys
actually,
play
if
this? Did you guys play this growing up?
Yes.
yes, I did. Yeah,
What-
we had
what-
NES,
what age?
Super Nintendo. I played it for the NES and then the Super Nintendo. I'm pretty sure.
I
'Cause-
can say that our parents didn't really play it.
Because I remember in my household, that was the first system we had was a Nintendo.
Yep.
We had
I think us too.
Super Mario Brothers / Duck Hunt.
Yep.
And
good
my
old
brother,
Duck Hunt.
my older brother was 5 at the time, and he used to play a lot of Super Mario Brothers, and I was about 1. And by the way, this is my brother telling the story.
I assumed.
Yeah, because I can't remember that shit. My mom still tells me, "Hey, I took you to see Back to the Future." I was like, I wasn't even a year old. I was probably not allowed in the theaters.
This is the last little
You
bit.
probably would have went to jail.
This is the last little bit I'm going to try and read out of it. I just want to... They're saying basically, they were full of... it was weirdly adult, full of streetwalkers, drug references, and Mad Max-style desert death races. That was actually what it originally
wasn't
was.
there.
No. What they originally
okay,
had planned because they said later on
They
that...
did have the little Mad Max dune buggy.
Well, they did. That was all. I guess that was part of
They
the set
just
to
kept
do like
the prop.
death races.
So-
because they
All
said
right.
also the screenplay called for scenes with strippers, hookers, and much raunchiness.
See?
They said this wasn't Snow White and the 7 dinosaurs, says the producers. The dinosaur world was dark, and we didn't want to hold back.
See, this is what I want in a Mario Kart movie.
Yes.
That's what I want. I
Death
want a
race,
death race
what a
with
Mad Max
hookers
style.
No,
And-
remake Death Race
by John
put
by
Mario and Luigi in it,
Okay.
and then just have hookers with them and call them Princess Peach and Princess Daisy,
Right.
And then the
Okay.
main bad they got to race against is Bowser in another cart.
by Roger Corman.
They
Oh,
okay, yeah.
Well, I mean, just take Fury Road and just replace some characters with Mario.
yeah,
Then
so,
you got it.
So they end up saying that big hitting executives from the major studios flew down, visited the sets. They said what they saw surprised them. Production designer David L. Snyder's sets look post-apocalyptic, full of battered New York taxis, flashing neon, and sprawling mass of metal walkways that looked as if they were left over from his work on Blade Runner.
Did you see the police cars in that movie?
Yeah. So
straight out of Mad Max.
With the weird,
holy shit.
Rod that, was stuck up to the fence? Or what was that? There was, electricity.
Yeah.
Was it, being charged?
I don't
They
know.
did make that clear.
That was so just to give credit to where I got that information from.
All I know is I see those
vehicles.
vehicles and I'm thinking precursor to Twisted Metal.
There was a
I never played Twisted Metal.
Wired.com, Why the Super Mario Movie Sucked. It's an article they wrote back in 2012.
Because we couldn't beat the game.
Just to give him credit.
That's why it sucked.
Yeah. Just to give the guy credit who I just pulled this information from. That's where I pulled it from. That's
fine.
So, yeah. But anyway, so that's the original, vision of this movie. Death races, strippers, hookers, drugs, street.
Where was all that?
I would like to
Where
see
was
that
that
version.
Yeah.
And then watch this version and just
Why
compare.
was there not years later Mario Kart 64?
Didn't they do
Death
that
races
with
and hookers and blow?
There was stories of a Batman movie that was supposed to be something like that too. I heard something about there was a script where Batman, instead of being rich, he was poor, and there was a script written out, I believe, where Bruce Wayne grew up with a car mechanic, and he was broke, and Selena Kyle was a hooker across the road from him or something like that.
I've never heard of it.
No, it was a crazy, weird kind of script. They were
All I know is
it
it would have never went by Warner Brothers. It would have been this is not Bruce Wayne.
But you know what? I think, back then, though, it's so odd they were trying to do these darker movies, because even Ninja Turtles, the first Ninja Turtles was pretty dark.
1990?
Yeah.
Dark times.
It was a dark it was a darker movie if you watch the Ninja Turtles for its time. So when Ninja Turtles 2 came out,
was it?
It was. I'll tell you, because when Ninja Turtles 2 came out, you can read this. They basically there's some kind of affiliation of
are you
moms.
saying it's not Dark Times?
It's maybe Dark
How
Times.
do you explain Cool as Ice?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
rest my case.
But the Ninja Turtles 2, they got a lot of complaints from Ninja Turtles 1 from this group of moms that were it's too dark and violent. So if you notice, if you watch Secret of the Ooze, they have weapons. They never use their weapons at all.
I don't remember them using them in the first one.
No, they used them in the first one. They were fighting Shredder with their weapons. Shredder gets thrown off a cliff and crushed in a trash compactor.
The first thing that Raphael did when he fought those foot soldiers, he pulled his size out.
Yeah. So
because he loses it.
In the second movie, they made a point and it was. If you watch the second movie, it's actually more goofier, not as serious.
It's way goofy. That was the one with the big rhino looking dude.
Toka and Razor. It was a wolf and a turtle. They didn't even have Rocksteady.
Yeah, it was a snapping turtle.
It was a snapping turtle and a wolf.
I thought it was a dog, but yeah, and I remember that they had to get the donuts filled with the antidote, and they were trying to get him to eat the donut.
Yeah. And if you
notice, that's also the one where the go ninja, go ninja, go.
Yes. Well, and
it's awful.
And if you remember, they didn't really even fight Shredder. I think one of the turtles hooks up a guitar and blasts him with music, and then when they
I don't remember.
And then when they fight Shredder at the end, he gets all hulked out. They don't throw a punch at him. He just destroys the dock around him and kills himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was in the early 90s when Ninja Turtles 2 came out. There was a lot more of children's movies, whatever. So them taking this stretch with a well-known kid-friendly game. And then back in the 90s too, it was, which was probably misconceived, but a lot more people believed, games are for kids.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
That's actually not completely true because there was a lot of gamers, especially on PCs at the time, as well as Nintendos, where they were like middle-aged guys playing these games too. Now, definitely we grew up with these games, so we're now the adult gamers. But there was adult gamers then as well.
But I feel like, you're right. In the public eye, stuff's for kids.
Yeah.
Like, adults don't get into that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right about that.
Yeah, and
unless it's mortgages and bills and
they were kind of.
I played that game actually.
You're playing it right now.
Yeah, they
it's not fun.
It was so they were kind of right with this idea, like, oh well, adults play Mario too, so we could do an adult movie for them.
A little carried
but
away.
they got
just a little.
But see,
Just smidge.
they didn't do that with The Mask. The Mask was also in the 90s, based off a comic book. But the Mask comic book is violent and dark.
I mean, it's the same thing as Ninja Turtles.
And
Ninja Turtles comic books
down.
are like
super. The original
so
ones.
violent.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah.
But you know what? I would not complain these days with R-rated comic movies. Let's bring back The Mask. Let's do it.
I would love to see The Mask done in the R-rated version from the comics because
Let
that
me
would be
sleep
crazy.
at night and forget about the Son of the Mask. Let me sleep.
I never saw that one.
I never did either.
So
Sir,
bad.
I will shake your hand after this podcast.
I couldn't bring myself to do it.
I've never watched The Son of the Mask.
Nope.
Son of a bitch!
You're the only one? Yes, you're the only one.
Jesus Christ. Did I like The Mask that much?
Why did you watch it?
Since you put me on a spotlight like
Probably
that.
the same reason why you ate all that damn soup.
Because I liked Jamie Kennedy at the time. That's probably why I ate that soup.
Wait, he was in that movie?
Oh, and
he was the main character.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, just
So
in case you
that's
guys
why-
don't know, we keep talking to him about the soup from the first episode of Who's Next, our other podcast.
Because it was
Ryan
good.
Ate,
It wasn't bad.
Some Zelda soup.
Not good.
You can listen to the episode. You can hear what it was about, and check the website out, www.who'snextgaming.com.
I was hungry.
Yeah. So
Still are hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still are. So.
Oh, it's so cold.
Is it better cold?
So is my heart.
Yeah. But so moving past that, overall the movie is really. I tell you, I actually watched this movie before this podcast. I think 3 or maybe 4 times. Because
really,
well, I'll tell you why.
Man's
because
dedicated to the craft.
well, no, not really. Because I fell asleep after the first 10 to 15 minutes about 3 of those times.
you were tired.
Yeah, and I had to so
4 times you heard a meteorite crashed.
So you're telling me after that part, you're just like done.
You just zonked
I don't
out.
need
I
the
was
rest.
basically like, oh, I get the movie now. So
I don't
well,
know. See, for me, that moment was like eye-opening. I was like, "What the hell is going on?" That woke me up.
Even for a kids movie though, there was some dark shit in Mario. Like, who was it that stabbed Yoshi? Like,
Yeah,
the little
Koopa's
Yoshi thing just like
woman.
stabbed her.
Yep.
And then that lady that had the rock pushes it in and fries herself into a skeleton.
Yep.
And it's just like,
what was it,
that's
Lucille?
there.
I don't know who
I
that
think
was.
her name is.
It's just
The whole
Koopa's-
time I
Koopa's
was
winch.
ogling her
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a weird way because she
No.
was so bitchy and just.
I mean, and she definitely dressed very provocative.
Well, I think
Right.
maybe your Marine side of being
maybe
used
so.
to that verbal abuse as an ex-Marine, you were just like, oh, God, yeah, she's
Yeah.
such a bitch.
I was thinking the entire time, what a cunt. I need that in my life. I need it.
I remember being like,
That I'm sorry to cut you off, but
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. Shut up. Yes, I am. It was that and that whole lesbian look she kept giving Daisy when she'd walk into the room like she's about to do something that she might or might not regret.
I don't know if it was lesbian. She was
I
like
don't know. She-
pissed.
Oh, it's in my notes.
She was like,
in my
She was
notes.
giving her
it's
some
in your
looks.
notes, but she was like jealous and like mad because like Bowser or King Koopa was like, I want to go to Bone Town on Daisy, and she was like, but you're supposed to go to Bone Town on me, and he was just
Yeah,
like,
but I think
No.
I agree with Ryan. I think, you know, the actress, I don't know who that it is, confused like malicious glares with like
it's scissor time.
Yeah.
thirsty, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because
it's the
that's
same
the way
woman.
she would look at her. She would give her these eyes where I was like, you're trying to scare her, and you
Seduce
are,
her.
but not for the right reasons. Like, you look like you're about to rape this girl.
Yeah. Well, maybe it made it a better movie if that.
It's the same
it
woman
wasn't.
from the
There's
Harry
no
Potter
way.
series, believe it or not.
I haven't seen. I think I've seen like one or two.
Am
of
I
those
the only
movies.
one? No?
Yes, probably.
I think I seen one Harry Potter.
It's Harry
saw the
Potter's
first two
adoptive parents and the mom, who is the sister of his mom, who is like really ashamed of her being a witch. And they tell us that every single movie. It just gets old.
Okay. Lost steam there.
Yeah. Didn't you read the books though?
I read most of them, not all of them,
I tell you
and I
what used
spent
to-
my entire middle school lifetime, like what, 2 years, I don't remember, being called Harry
Oh,
Potter.
I remember that because
I know
Grandma would even call you that. We would like the few times we'd ever go by Grandma's, she'd be like, "Hey Tim, it looks like that Harry."
Oh yeah,
The
it
Harry
was great.
Potter.
There was a girl in my like elementary school days who would chase me around the like playground because I looked like Harry Potter. That happened.
They did.
Yep. And
Everybody's looking at me
see,
like I got something to
got-
say about it. Okay.
I got the name Harry Potter, you know, tagged on to me for fucking several years because of a play that my 4th grade teacher made us do. Do you remember that, Seth?
I don't remember.
Okay,
that.
so 4th grade teacher made us do a Harry Potter play. Because I was reading Harry Potter in her class, and she like noticed it, and she's like, "What's that book about?" And she fell in love with it. And she's like, "We have to do a play." And in this play, I played Ron Weasley. Still got called Harry Potter for the rest of until I got to high school, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so early on, you know, because I was a kid, people would be like, "Oh, Harry Potter," and I would be like, "I played Ron Weasley." It didn't help. Still got harassed.
I'm glad this just went completely off the rails from Mario. It's like we went Mario to Homer to Harry Potter to first-person shooters.
Yep. I blame you for that one.
So,
but hey, there's still a small connection. I brought that back around.
Like if you pay attention, there are links to all these little tangents.
there are links.
So
and if
I
you
can
find
honest-
them all, you
will get nothing.
Yeah. Well,
So I can honestly say, didn't lose steam. Not at all.
What?
Just the whole conversation.
No, you lost steam.
No. Because
See,
it
you
went
did
to
just
something
there.
else still related to Harry Potter, so technically it did not lose steam.
I was. Let me see if I still have it. I was looking up reviews, and I didn't really find what I wanted to do.
I
but
thought
this
Kevin was looking up.
But I
reviews.
thought this review was pretty great.
Hey, he's doing his job.
Come
You
on.
got some?
He's got it.
Thank you,
got it.
Kevin.
He's
Get him,
got
Kevin.
it.
I'm gonna read this one.
Meteorite.
Kevin's got a few.
The dinosaurs.
We'll just read some reviews, some good, some bad. You know, just kind of all goes raw. I thought this was funny. It's on Amazon. Reliving my childhood. So this is what they wrote. 5 stars. They gave this one 5 stars for the movie. Regardless of the negative reviews it received while in theaters, Well, theater. It just
And,
said
they-
one.
it
This
released
was
one.
So just one?
Yeah, just
Just
one.
one.
It says theater. It does. This was one of my favorite movies as a kid, and I still remember it fondly. Maybe you have to be a kid from that era to appreciate the old school video game
That's,
Kitschy? It's
What?
Kitschy.
Kitschy.
Okay. References throughout the film, but I just love it. Needless to say, now I am grown and have kids of my own, and I was thrilled to buy this DVD for them to share the awesomeness.
Well, you
My
can't.
6-year-old thinks it's the greatest film ever made, which I'll be honest, brings a tear to my eye. Proud parent here. I'm so glad he inherited my terrible taste in
Oh,
films.
Christ.
Honestly, though, it's a fun movie. 90% of the actors are surprisingly popular ones. The costumes and sets are unique. The soundtrack is snappy. And the effects are appropriately cheesy. It's the entire package. My only complaints are the lack of extras on the DVD menu. Don't expect any outtakes, cutscenes, or commentary.
Oh, shucks.
There is none. Think of it as a glorified VHS, excuse me, which is appropriate, really. So that was an amazing review.
Well, gee willikers.
If they would have taken the outtakes, it would have been nothing but strippers and blow.
Or it had just been Bob Hopkins
Getting
and John
plastered.
Leguizamo just drunk, because that was reported. Like, they would come to set and just be drunk and just do the movie. Which, for being drunk, I don't think, like, the performances...
I'll say that didn't come through for me. I didn't notice. Like,
No,
oh yeah, he was
I
hammered.
thought the performances were okay. Like, I didn't think they necessarily did bad. Like,
They
Bob
were
Ho-
entertaining. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. They it felt like they tried. I mean, I definitely don't think they were like, oh, I'm giving this my all. This will be my breakout performance. But they definitely weren't like phoning it in. I don't think it felt,
They played the role.
yeah, they just played the role. I don't think it was terrible in that sense. It was really just like the script and the directing and everything just felt kind of.
Rushed.
No, well, I guess rushed, but it sounds like just what was reported. They were trying to do a different adult movie, and then the execs came, said, no, this is kids, and then they, what you said, rushed this movie. But I think they had time to do a decent movie. I don't know if their original set would have been better or not. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
could you imagine what the movie could have been if the original director would have stayed around? Can you imagine?
I would like to see that.
You know what I'm talking about?
yeah.
Harold Ramis?
I mean, I think a sex scene with Mario and the
I
princess
think it's
or
something that we all
would have.
need.
Is that too much to ask for? Is that too much?
We have spent lifetimes chasing this woman into castles only to have her get taken away. Never actually seen Mario
Well,
just bone her.
Now Bowser's like wedding gear in that Mario Odyssey game looks like he's pimping
He
Princess
looks like a
Peach
pimp.
out.
Yeah.
Like now she's a prostitute, and Mario is gonna be an actual plumber who's gonna fix toilets to get money so that they can pay for Princess Peach's freedom from prostitution.
So
What if
you're
that's actually in the game where you have to go do jobs to get your coins? You have to go.
That would
fix.
be interesting, actually, if you were an actual plumber in that game, because it's like, hey, guess what? He's a plumber.
Yeah.
you actually have to fix some shit.
They like
Yeah.
make little mini
Okay.
games.
There's a
out of it.
dishwasher. We gotta
Yeah.
go fix it.
You gotta race the Scapellis
Bro.
over to.
Damn Scapelli brothers.
Oh, if they have the Scapelli brothers in Odyssey, I'll be like,
I mean,
this
I would not
this is
be
why I gotta
surprised at all.
switch.
For the Scapelli brothers.
For the Scapelli brothers in a Mario game. Yes.
The true enemy here, not the Goombas.
What you got, man?
The
So we got a couple
Scapellis.
more reviews here.
I got one from
Let me see it. I'll read it in the mic. Which one you want?
this one right here.
All right.
Mhm.
This one, it was 2003. Be careful how you watch. I made the mistake of watching this movie the day I had knee surgery, so I was doped up on
What difference
all
does
kinds of
that
painkillers and thought the movie was great. However, a few years later, I remembered how
This
much
movie makes me feel my knee. It hurts.
However, a few years later, I remembered how much I enjoyed the movie, so I watched it on TV when it was run again. Okay. I was blown away with how horribly bad it was. I was also amazed at how much I remembered being in the movie that wasn't. Wait. I was blown away with how horribly bad it was. I was also amazed on how much I remembered being in the movie that wasn't. So as the title says before, says be careful how you watch. As a side note, this is not an endorsement to do drugs just to make bad movies better. So that was a bad. He gave it a 2 out of 10 on IMDb.
IMDb. Yeah.
IMDb, excuse me.
Mhm.
So injure your knee, and the movie's great.
No, well, get doped up on drugs. He said he injured his knee, was doped up on drugs, saw Mario, and was like, "Oh, this movie's great." Saw it off of drugs and was like, "Oh no, it's actually bad." Gave it a 2 out of 10.
I still think the knee injury is critical.
It probably is. I think
it affects your judgment.
Well, I think next time I injure my knee, like at work or something, I'll just be
Pop
like,
on Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers. It's
Pass-
free on YouTube.
See if it'll pass the test.
You can watch it on YouTube right now for free. So I mean,
Yeah,
get your
I
watch on.
skipped my leg the other day. I'm thinking now, Super Mario Brothers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's right.
Yeah.
So, watching this movie, we'll rate this system. How many lives did we lose watching this movie, Ryan?
Out of what?
Your final.
I was about to ask.
Well-
what is our max health?
Yeah.
Let's say
5
we have
hearts.
5 lives.
Why don't we go up to 40?
So, shut up. We're gonna do 5 lives. You can lose 5 lives, or if it's actually a good movie, you've gained a life. All right. So that's like some of these movies are not. I don't think completely terribly bad, where we can say, "Hey, got an extra life." on this one.
Wait. All right. So are we just saying we lost a life, or we gained a life, or
No,
are we saying
we're gonna
like,
rate them by how bad, how many lives we lost is how bad the movie
how
is.
much health we lost?
But if it's actually a good movie, we'll just say, "Oh, I actually gained a life watching this movie."
So if it's a good movie, you beat the boss on Zelda, and you
Yes.
found a heart container.
there you go.
Like
Okay.
for example, since you asked me that question, I would say by the time watching this movie being done, I'd have 2.5 hearts.
Okay.
Like
Well,
2.5.
it's lives. We're doing lives.
Okay,
It's losing
lives.
lives. So let's stay on.
I'll go with. I got about.
I'm confused.
I thought I was going by hearts.
I thought
not
so
by
too.
lives. Yeah, right. If we're doing lives out of 5,
No, the podcast.
people
is called,
work with us here.
the
work
podcast
with
is called
us.
Losing Lives. When you play a game, you start off with an X number of lives. You fall off a cliff, you lose a life. So watching this movie is like falling off a cliff
All
repeatedly.
right. So
How many
you're
times
asking
did you
me
die?
how many green and white mushrooms do I have left watching this?
Sure. We can-
Okay. Out of 5, I have 2.
Okay.
Not saying the movie was awful. It was bad, but I could honestly appreciate for what it was being 1993. You really could not do anything else with what you had. It had to be a dystopian future in the 90s somehow. Mad Max, Blade Runner.
Wait, why did it have to be?
What else?
Dude, you can easily make a movie about the characters Mario and Luigi trying to get
Tripping
Princess
on
Peach.
acid.
But
going
you see,
through
you,
the
you
mushroom
guys
world.
are, you're assuming that you have to have reasonable explanations for what these people are experiencing. So the first thing you need to do is take Mario and Luigi out of Brooklyn. They were never in Brooklyn. You start the movie in Mushroom Kingdom. You make that your setting, and it's simply an adventure to get Princess Peach that is being hindered by flying turtle people, weird Goomba things, and bullet bills. That, if I were like a kid and I saw that movie, I would, all right, that's Mario up on the big screen. But it was that like search for explanation and reason that made this catastrophe that we've got now.
But don't you think to do what you're saying, I think it might have to be like animated?
Yes.
Like it can't
definitely think it would have to be animated.
If you start doing things
exactly my point, it had to be animated.
Because if you're doing those things in
this
real
is live
life,
action.
the thing is that takes a huge budget to show that stuff in like a respectable or like a good way. So you kind of have, if you're gonna do a live action movie, you have to kind of ground it to an extent. I mean, I don't think you could just go, just like, oh, here's this crazy world, and here's this guy, and here's these dinosaurs, and like, I don't know what I would say would be like, oh, this is how you should do this movie. Like, I don't know, because it's so bonkers. The game is just
bananas
like the game itself is just like throwing shit at a wall, and it's like, that's cool, that sticks, that's cool, that sticks, oh, that doesn't, because that's basically the game. It's like, oh, bullets with teeth on it, great.
Boy, that sucks.
Flowers that try to eat you and also spit fire at you.
That sucks. Tough shit.
Yeah, great. Let's put that in there. Oh, in the water, squids attack you and fish stuff and whatever. Yeah, that's all right.
That sucks.
Too.
Deal with it.
And I'm not trying to say like Mario's still great games. It's a fun game. Like I'm not trying to put the game down.
Right.
But what I'm saying, that's kind of what it is. So when you say, oh, I'm gonna do a live action movie of this, can you really just like throw shit at a wall unless it's animated? Because then you can draw these worlds, and then you can have it. So in your opinion, this has to be an animated movie.
Probably.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say.
But so as a live action movie, it's almost as if
it's not. It can't be live.
How many lives did you lose watching this movie? From 1 to 5. 5 being the worst, 1 being the least.
Yep.
And if you say it's a good movie, you gained a life. That's it.
I lost 2 lives.
Okay.
Same as me.
And all of my rings.
Okay.
Ooh.
There you go. Nice twist.
You went the Sonic route.
Yeah. So you were about to lose your 3rd life. You just didn't get there.
But let me ask you gentlemen this. Did this movie affect the franchise whatsoever?
No, and actually there was another article I pulled out too that was like, it might have been in that Wired article where they were talking about how they got the rights from Nintendo, and then basically they were like, yeah, it's cool. I think they only got the rights for like $500,000. I think that was the number, or they paid something for it like that. And Nintendo's attitude was just like, well, we'll see what happens. Because they were like, the brand, we feel is strong enough that if the movie sucks, it's not going to hurt the game. And if it's great, then we can explore this avenue some more. And like, Sega looked like it did the same thing that year when they did Surf Ninjas. Because that was Sega funded, and
I don't know anything about.
Yeah, so that's definitely something we'll learn about. Because I never watched it either, but How Did This Get Made, which is a popular podcast that does something similar to what we're doing, but ours we're just sticking to video games. They just kind of
they've inspired us.
Movies. Yeah. So
and just to let you know, I'm the only one here laughing because I'm the only sad sap who's seen Surf Ninjas.
You're the only sad sap that's seen a lot of weird movies, especially in the horror franchise. You pull things up like an encyclopedia, and it's disturbing the torture you put yourself through.
And I will take a bow.
Yeah. So I would say I'm similar. 2 lives lost. I don't think it was a terrible, terrible movie for its standards of in the 90s and what all happened to it. And, it's not the worst thing out there, but... yeah, it wasn't good.
For me, none of that like information factors into like why I was like 2 lives lost. Yeah. I watched it a couple days ago. At the end, I was like, that was completely bonkers.
Yeah,
I was entertained. Like
that's
really what it came down to.
Yeah. So
but think, gentlemen, what could this movie really been with the actors they originally wanted to play these characters? Can you imagine that?
What, with the hookers and the
I
Mad
mean, I
Max
would love for the
death
hookers
races?
and all that.
I
shit,
would
yeah.
love the hookers.
But I mean, before Bob
I've been
Hoskins,
aching for some dinosaur prostitutes.
right?
There you go.
I mean, before all the dinosaur poon and all the prehistoric blow they were doing on set.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just think for a second of who could have directed this movie, who could have starred on it if they had the budget. First off, I mentioned Harold Ramis. He's a huge fan of the Super Mario Brothers video games.
Okay.
He originally read the script, thought it was fun, but then passed on it.
Well, yeah, they had hookers and prostitutes in the original script.
All of what like Harold Ramis does. So, no, he doesn't. I don't know that for a fact. Don't Google it.
I'm not. But anyways, we're gonna close out this episode. We about an hour 10. So I guess I'll go around. Any last words on this movie? Shut it down.
We never talked about the de-evolutionizer.
That was actually the gun from the NES, the Super Scope.
Yeah.
Was it really?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
I didn't make that connection.
I didn't want to say
Holy
anything
shit.
because I didn't want to feel old as shit bringing it up.
Yeah, that's what that was. It was like
Yeah.
a cameo appearance of their like.
When he turned the Scapelli into a monkey,
Yeah.
he was using that. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so that happened. There was this whole theme of evolution and de-evolution, and men are from monkeys, and like I'm surprised our dad.
I know.
got
That's
through
what I
that
was
movie.
thinking.
Like,
Our parents being as religious and like
yeah.
uncomfortable with that concept as
Well,
they are.
Well, dad. I don't know if mom really cares much at all.
Yeah,
but
but
dad
dad-
is
my
like gung
dad's-
ho, like,
Yep.
no, this is not from monkeys. And
Yeah,
it's like,
I don't
well,
know.
okay, you know.
Last,
Not you.
last.
You don't
oh,
have our dad. You're a reject.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I have no dad.
Yeah. You're an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Ryan
works.
Snow.
That
But
works.
so Super Scope. anything else? You've got a lot of notes. Anything you wanted to touch on in particular?
Just the
other than the
fact that
penis?
I would have loved to see what would have happened if Arnold Schwarzenegger was King Koopa and
That would have been pretty good.
Tom Hanks as Mario.
He could have exchanged his
Tom
line.
Hanks as Luigi.
Is
Oh.
He even kind of looks like
Do you
him.
Still couldn't afford him.
do you think Arnold Schwarzenegger can pull some of his Ice Age lines from Batman and Robin?
Everybody chill.
Oh, yeah. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age! Everybody chill.
Just take those lines and put them in that movie with
Hold
Arnold
on.
Schwarzenegger.
I got one more. Let me break the ice.
I think I covered everything. I tried to do it step by step through most of the movie. The biggest thing for me was just those plungers mounted on the wall. That's just hilarious. That was an amazing scene.
If you don't have one, people, you're wrong.
Yeah. If you don't have one, and once you put it to good use, start mounting it on your wall, maybe you should start doing that. But, all right. Thanks, guys. If anybody tune in and listen, check us out, www.who'snextgaming.com. You can see the site. We'll have images up from Who's Next podcast, our other podcast, where we did some cooking, had a little cooking show. And, check us out, see what we're doing. We're slowly building. We're looking to try and start getting into doing a little bit of video content, some video game streaming, stuff like that. We're slowly building, so give us some time, and I appreciate if you listen, appreciate that download, and
We all
hope you
do.
tune in.
Thank you.
Our next episode, we're going to be doing Doom, so go ahead, try and get a head start, watch that one, see what that's about, and we'll hope to be seeing you there.